Hi, Thomas Allen Cocker with ABC, hitting coordinator for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going to run through your swing today, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I talk with my hitters about. You have a very good balance set up. You have good balance really throughout the swing. A little bit of fallback. Excuse me, a little bit of fallback on the front heel at the end of your swing. Excuse me. We just want to try to keep good athletic balance throughout the entire swing. One of the ways we can do that is just to keep good athletic bend in our knees. We're going to get a lot of power from our legs, so we want to make sure that we are able to maintain balance to keep the bat head going through the zone as long as possible. So being able to stay balanced is going to be very, very important, and that's going to help with the extension in your swing a little bit too. Okay, so I'm just going to slow things down now at this point. We're going to talk about some of the positions that we get guys into. First thing that happens is the load. In the load, what we want to see happen, Thomas, is we want the hands to separate. We want the hands to go back, okay? We want to try to keep them. You're in a good position here with the height. Shoulder height is a very good position, but we want the hands to go back. We want to take them away from the pitcher, okay? As the hands start to get back, now we're going to get into the stride position, and when that stride foot lands right here, when we see this stride foot land, okay, now what we want to have is good athletic balance. At this particular point, we need to see equal bend in both knees. You're very good there. We want both of our knees to be inside of our feet. You're very good there. We want our hips to be nice and square to home plate. We want our shoulders to be nice and square to home plate. As I mentioned, the height of the hands is going to be shoulder height, but we want those hands to be separated back to where if I could draw a straight line down from the knob, it's going to be separated behind this back knee. And if I do that with you right here, it really doesn't get the separation. It's just almost on the knee. So we want to get back there. We want to get loaded up. It's just kind of like pulling that top hand back as though we were pulling a bow and arrow, and we're just going to load that string back so I can release the arrow. Okay, so that would be one thing I think we could improve a little bit, and it's just take that top hand and just pull it back like you're pulling back on a bow and arrow. That's going to get your hands back here more in this position, so if I draw a straight line down from the knob, they're separated, they're back behind our back foot. Now look at the rest of the positions all look good. One thing that I really pay close attention to with my guys is their stride foot. Now, I don't want their stride foot to open up any more than 45 degrees. And I look here at you, and you're at 41, so you're very, very good. When that stride foot starts to open up beyond 45 degrees, what we'll see is this front hip will start to leak out, and it'll leak open towards the pull side of the field. And that hip line now all of a sudden becomes this, and we can see your hip line is very square. So you're in a very good, solid, athletic position to start your swing. Okay, we run forward a click at a time. Now what we want to do is we really want to get drive with our lower half. Our lower half is our source of power. If it's athletic, if it's got good athletic bend in the knees, my knees are inside my feet, we should feel the weight on the inside part of this back leg. Now the first move is to drive and transfer that weight into the front leg, right in on the inside part of the front leg. Okay, so it goes from inside the back leg to inside the front leg, and all I do is I turn this knee and I just drive it into that front leg. Okay, as that happens, this back elbow will drop underneath the hands. All right, your elbow's already down, so I have a feeling that your elbow is going to get a little bit ahead of your connection. So I'll show you what I mean. When we start to go forward, okay, the elbow slides underneath. At this particular point right here, we want to see the elbow, the hands, and the back hip should all be lined up. Okay, And actually, when I look at this now, you're actually in a very good position to be able to get all of the drive that takes place down here in the legs. Now that passes off to the hands, and the hands continue to go forward. They get just in front of the center of gravity of your body, which is basically right here, your belly button. And as they start to get in front of that, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to release the barrel through the baseball. When I look at your contact position, I see some good things. I see palm up, palm down. I see the head and eyes are looking right down the barrel of the bat at contact. And Thomas, it's very important for you to know that as soon as the head and eyes come up out of the hitting zone, essentially our swing at that point is now over. The barrel of the bat will follow the direction of the head and eyes. So if I can keep my head and eyes in the zone for one count after contact, I will go ahead, extend, hit through that ball, and finish off my swing, and I'll get the maximum amount of bat speed through the ball. Head and eyes come up, barrel follows it. So it's a good, very good habit. Anytime you're doing any type of drill work with your team or with your coach or your dad in the cage, we want to get into the habit of, whether it's off a tee, soft toss flips, batting practice, we want to get into that good habit of leaving my head and eyes down in the hitting area, the hitting zone, for at least one count, if not two counts, after contact, so I can finish my swing with maximum bat speed. Okay, you do a very good job of that. All right, we'll just take a look at your finish. A little bit of a quick roll and a little bit of that barrel working around your body a little bit. And what I see is just a little bit of recoil back here on the backside. Okay, and then we start to lose balance. We get on the heel of that front foot. So, you know, when we're driving through, try to keep the weight on the inside part of this front foot. Okay, a little bit of athletic bend at this particular point won't be a bad thing because it'll help for balance. And again, the more balance we have, the more extension I get with the barrel of that bat staying through the ball. And then my finish is going to be long and full as opposed to pulling it across my body. All right. Really, I think the best drills for you would be a tee. Most of the best big league hitters that I've ever been around, they have a tendency to do all of their cage work prior to batting practice with a tee, and the reason for that is we can set the tee exactly where we want it. So what I would suggest is just get that tee, set it on the outer third of the plate, put it even with or just inside your stride foot, so it's somewhere in this area right here, and let's really work to get to that point that we talked about in the very first part of this video. Get good separation with the hands going back, okay? So right about now, we want those hands somewhere back here, okay? We want those hands to go back, and then we want the stride foot to land, all right? More separation that we can get with these hands going back in this direction, more separation that I can get, as long as I get it over behind that back knee, the more drive, the more power, the more finish in my swing, the more extension through the ball I'm going to get. That's just going to make you that much more of an effective hitter. So to handle this ball on the outer third and hit this ball as hard as we can, in a cage, through the right side of the cage if we're on a field, hard through the second baseman, hard into right center, I really need to get some separation with these hands. I need to get these hands going back in that direction. That's going to put me in a strong, powerful position to now drive that knee, let the elbow drop, get my hand, elbow, back hip, all in connection. So now when that barrel comes to contact, it's going to continue to extend through this ball and stay through contact. Okay, Thomas, this is a drill, buddy. I think it's going to help you a lot. Do a lot of things very well. Again, at the end of our swing, let's just make sure that we're working to maintain balance, and we're going to stay on the inside part of this foot, maybe with just a little bit of athletic bend in that front knee that allows for good balance and good extension. But those two things, the separation and just better balance with that stride foot, that's going to make you a lot better hitter. Okay, bud? Thanks for coming to our camp. Best of luck.